Welcome back to the program and thank you for tuning in. Smart 24 TV, we drive your business. My name is Anthony and we are analyzing the Market Act 2023 amended with Mrs. Maureen Wagubi, who is the Executive Director of the Institute for Social Transformation, an NGO that gives skills to young women and helps them come out of poverty and gives them empowerment through different ventures. We also have Madame Catherine Nanzige, who is a market leader working in Nakawa market, but also discussing the issues that are pertinent to the market vendors within the different markets in Kampala. Now, Mrs. Maureen, we've discussed mainly what the act entails and how the leadership of the markets has been changed. But what are some of the things, I don't know if I'll start with Madame Catherine, that the vendors thought would be addressed by the Act? And we want to see if they have been addressed. Because like you mentioned, there have been leadership gaps. There have been maybe penalties that have been unfair, maybe taxes. If you could highlight for us, what are some of the pertinent challenges market vendors think should be addressed by at least this Market Act?
The first one is about the hygiene of the market. KCCA took over Naka market, that was in 2013. To date, they've been in charge of revenue collection and all that, the cleanness, the garbage collection, but we have a very big challenge of the toilets. These toilets are always closed. They are dirty. You know, we are even fearing of getting diseases. If we went right now to the market and we moved around and you saw how those toilets look like, they are really in a bad state. Yet KCCA is in charge. But before, when we had the tender, you know, the vendors were tendering from KCC, the market was very, very clean. The toilets were clean. We were paying a small token of money, but they were really clean. But right now, KCC came and took over the things that, the toilets that they never even constructed. During Madame Jennifer Msisi, they just said that these toilets belong to KCCA. Yet they've never constructed any toilet in a car market. So we're having that challenge. Now you take over responsibility, but you're not in position to deliver. You know, you go in the morning, you find the toilets are closed. You know, they take long to empty them. So that is a very big challenge. Now, we've been trying, just because we had leadership, you know, the chairperson would tell them, please empty the toilets, open the toilets. The market is dirty. The market is this. Now, if at all we are not having these leaders, how will it be? You know, that is a very big gap. So we have that challenge.
The hygiene in the market.
The hygiene of the market.
Yes. Okay. And what are the challenges in as far as, because you say they're collecting the taxes, have the taxes been fair according to at least the opinion of the vendors? The taxes that have been collected, have they been fairly and equitably distributed?
Yeah, the taxes were fair, but currently we don't been paying, like for us of the stores and the shops, when the president gave a directive and said we should not pay. But these people, the suppliers, for them they pay. But we're also having another challenge. Why should they collect that money on gunpoint? We are seeing now policemen with the revenue collectors at night in the market collecting revenue. Why? Why should they do that? Yet they digitalized the system.
The e-receipts.
Yes. So I think that is not proper. These people have never refused to pay revenue, and we've been always paying. You see, even before, if you fail to pay, they would put a seal. Like maybe if it is a lockup, they put a seal and tell you, you pay 3 months in advance. So people were paying. they don't have any problem with paying what? With paying revenue, because they know that the market is not there.
So if they could sanitize, or let's say clean up the market, and also do the garbage collection
in time,
would that solve all the problems that the market vendors have?
Provided they also include, they give us that chance of electing our own
leaders.
Yes.
All right.
So we need leaders in the market from the top. I think it will be catered for in the regulations. Yeah, because these markets do differ.
Mrs. Maureen, you've just had yourself number one challenge, sanitation, when it comes to the public toilets, and also garbage collection. Sometimes maybe the authorities take long, and the leadership. The vendors are saying these are the challenges. According to your own analysis so far of the Act amended, do you think it addresses some of these challenges, given the fact that now they're giving the private ownership more room, where now we're going to have private players say, okay, I'm bringing my own policy, I'm licensed by the authorities, and so you follow my rules from now on. Do you think some of these issues will be addressed?
Thank you, Anthony. Yes. Yeah, I would say yes, because according to the Act, for example, when you go to the section that is talking about the department leadership, there is where it's talking about the roles of those department heads. And one is that they are going to oversee the cleanliness of those departments. So meaning that if we have the right leaders within our departments, then it means our environment is going to be clean. So for me, I feel the regulation is also now going to set, because we are now looking at environmental sustainability, eco-friendly, kind of environment. What exactly are we doing as the occupants of this market? As me a leader, I will make sure that my department, we are able to sort our garbage. The garbage that can, the biodegradable, and there's the synthetic put aside. Can we have those streamlined garbage bins? That this one is for, let me say, rotten
segregation, yes. So this is for perishables and this is for polythene.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that will make our work easier, but also to live in a proper environment. But also it gives us room for innovation, you see, that we can innovate and say, okay, these tons and tons of garbage we are collecting from the market, we can add value to it. Make fertilizers out of the garbage, because, this garbage is part of fertilizers. Can we get gas out of this garbage? Because those are some of the projects at Institute for Social Transformation we are looking forward to implement within the spaces of the markets, because there is a lot of garbage there. So what can we do? So you see that there is the thing behind the thing that will be even bring more value. You see, so for me, in line with the hygiene, sanitation, the Act is looking at that. When we talk about toilets, like Catherine has already highlighted, yes, toilets and bathrooms have been a challenge, especially in the private markets. Because for government, the new markets that government has constructed, those elements have been catered for. But for private people, because they're trying to minimize space, you feel like even having toilets, it is getting into your business. But again, this is what we need. We need healthy people to work in these spaces. So this means they are going to be enforced. How many instances should you have if you have, this kind of numbers? Because now the regulation says if your market is having, let me say, from 1 to 1,000 people, occupants, you must be having 6 stances, and you must be having bathrooms. Because we saw that during the breakdown the breakout of COVID, people are sleeping in the markets. But you find that those markets never had bathrooms for people where they could go and shower. Yeah. So what does this mean? So many things have changed. So with this Act and the regulations that are yet to be put forward, we feel that things will be tightened for the better. And
before you go, leave the issue of cleanliness. I've seen something in the Act in, I think, 23. I don't know which chapter this is, but general cleanliness they're saying that after giving a private owner a license, they should ensure that a person occupying a workplace, a shop, pitch, or stall in a market shall keep their workspace clean and habitable at all times. And they're saying a person shall dispose of garbage, other waste from his or her workplace in a place designated, like you said. for this. So I think some of these things are addressed with the Act.
Yes, yes. That's what I was trying to say, that they're already embedded here. The only thing is to actualize the regulation, but also inform the members within the, the community, the market community, because they don't know. And if the law catches you, then you'll be like, me, I didn't know. Because some of us, the way we are brought up, we are used to littering everywhere. So there is that change of mindset on how our markets should be governed.
But they've always told us to keep our stores and shops clean, which we do, and we always gotten dustbins. But at times, KCCA will also take long to bring those trucks
to collect
the garbage, you see.
Because the tenders are being given also to other private people to do the garbage collection. And there is even somewhere where the government is saying that there will be a private person they can impose to do the tax collection on behalf of government. So what does that mean for the vendor? You see.
Wow.
But then for the other side of the private markets, I think they will have a committee to do that. I think there is also the element of pitches, the stalls. You highlighted something to do with the stalls, I don't remember. But when it gets to the stalls, there is a committee that is going now to be, allocating stalls, which hasn't been the case. Women have been sexually abused in that process of identifying, you go to the market, you want a stall, somebody says, I'm the owner of the market, you have to give in first before I give you the juices stall in front and all that.
The ground level.
You see?
Yes.
But now that there is now setting up of these markets, and you see this department is going to sell tomatoes and maybe an onions, this one will be for shoes, this one will be, like categorizing the market. We shall be able to deal with some of these, vices that have been really affecting people in these spaces, yeah.
But also the vendor should be engaged in that. Yeah.
And the regulation formulation, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is what we are advocating for, and the Ministry of Local Government is really open to have the consultations of the market leadership, the stakeholders, because they are the key stakeholders in this. So at least, because we are working with the Ministry of Local Government to support. So for us, we believe Ministry is really open, and the consultations will come. And we are actually starting with the sensitization of the leaders, the market leaders, at least in the 12 markets of Kampala, just to make people aware of the Market Act and what it entails, so that even when Minister of Local Government invites you to have a meeting with you, you know what to talk about, you know what to ask. Yes.
Well, with Parliament also voting funds in the parish development model, in the Appropriation Act 2023, the President signed 25 acts at once this year. And one of them was the Appropriation Act 2023. The legislators are saying it is also the legislature's expectation that even players in the markets, especially vendors, can be able to actually access these funds to support their commerce. I want to hear from Catherine and know if parish development model funds have penetrated downward to at least 2 or 3 vendors that you might know, actually to you yourself.
Actually, let me tell you that we've never benefited from any government program. Now, the criteria for you to get that money, you have to be a resident of that area or that parish. And remember, as vendors, we stay far away. We do not reside from Nakawa division. Some of them come from Mukono, others Wachiso, like that. And we come to the market very early in the morning, and we also leave very late. For example, me, I tried where I stay, and they told me, we don't know you. And it's true, they don't know me, because I'm always in the market.
You come back late in the night, you leave very early in the morning.
Very early in the morning, and on Sunday, I'm at church. So again, when you come to the division, they will tell you, that one the RCC told us, if you do not reside within, you will never get that money. You see? No. So we've been left out, and the majority, you see? And some of them even do not know what parish development model is. They will always come and ask, Catherine, what we tried? We even engaged the mayor. They called us the person who's responsible for PDM at the division, and they told us we cannot get that money. So always we've been asking government to design for us a special program as market vendors, so that we can also benefit.
Well, Mrs. Maureen, the resultant leakage spurs the rural economy, and if because farmers will have as many markets as possible under this act, because you're looking at the act establishing private owners, right?
Yes.
So we're going to have markets in Intungamo, we're going to have markets in Gulu that are set up by individuals to help these people access. But now you're looking at the market vendors who are going to vend in these places who are not economically empowered. And they cannot buy out these stalls, that is in the first place, and then at the end of the day acquire licenses and all that. At the same time, you expect them to keep all the rules and regulations, keep the store clean, you know. They need funds, they need to be empowered. Because in the long run, this will also improve our affordability for food. Food will be much more accessible. In these regulations, are there spaces where you've actually created empowerment, economic empowerment for market vendors, especially through government programs? She has just mentioned clearly that PDM has reached none of them. So what is government doing in as far as reaching out for economic empowerment?
Economic empowerment. Thank you. Yes, I'm not going to be here really to speak for government, what they are really doing. I will speak on those that I know. Because when government comes up with policies and programs, they cater for all Ugandans. But the only challenge comes in when, you know, they are pinned to parishes, sub-counties, and all that. Yet there is a category, because we know that a market vendors, for them, coming to the market, they start like at around 3 wee hours of the morning. Wow. They're already in the market. They are leaving at around 10, latest, those who might leave late.
Some of them still sleep there.
Yeah. Basically, they don't have enough time to mingle with their communities, where their homes, where they reside, you see, that proportion of where they reside, because it's like they're residing within the market. So can we now call the market as a constituency on its own? Because that is where now the government has to go and say, look at these people as its own constituency. And they are, you know, they're immensely contributing to the economy of the country. So how are we supporting them? Because these are the people we want, who are already in the money economy. How do we boost them? Remember that even the parish development model that we are talking about, the people who are into the rural communities, who are growing the food, whatever, these are the people who are going to buy from them and sell on their behalf, because this is where the market is. So how are we linking these two together to make sure there is a balance? You see, for me, I think we just have to sit with the policymakers, okay, that's the government, for us to give them the other view, to show them the other way. How can we get these people on board? Because they are part of the system, you see? Because without them, they will not even give you validity that whatever you put into PDM has worked. Because if there is no market for the farmers, whoever you're giving money for, what will you have done? If I'm not able to sell what I've, you know, to get into the money economy, what is that? Yeah. So we need the two to make sure there is balance. But we appreciate the government programs that are being put forward.
Definitely.
Just to change a few things, yes, to make sure that everybody benefits.
I hope the legislators watching this show get to take note of some of this, because you don't reach out sometimes to the people that really matter. And this show is there to bring you some of these ideas so you can be able to flaunt policies that are relevant to the common person. Now, yes, Mrs. Mori.
Yeah, that as we are looking at government to come out and do the economic empowerment and all that, but there are also other private players who are contributing, you know. We are looking at the financial institutions that are lending money to the people. We are looking at the civil society that is building capacities of the people on how to manage their businesses, how to do saving, but also amplifying the side of technology. Because without technology, we can get nowhere. Even when you're talking about people, telling people, you know, increase on your productivity and what, it also goes with technology, but also finances. So where are we?
So we also have a role to play. Everyone has a role to play. Now, let's talk about the penalties very briefly before we wind up. According to Part 7, Offences and Penalties, subsection 27, a person who operates a market in contravention of the conditions of a license issued under this Act, including some of the things you highlighted, cleanliness and so on, commits an offence and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 120 currency points, or now 120 currency points, that's 2.4 million, or imprisonment not exceeding 2 years, or both. I want to get your opinions, Catherine, on this regulation, because this is saying anyone who contravenes the conditions of a license, meaning the conditions we listed before, cleanliness, having your stall, in order, you're going to be convicted and you're going to be jailed. Is this fair? Is this welcome to the vendors, or it's too stringent?
What I think, what should be done first is to sensitize. Such that, I know that regulation is there so that people can follow, do the right thing that they are supposed to do. But again, they need to be sensitized that if you do this, the penalty will be this, such that they can avoid. But also, for example, you've told us to keep the space clean, and we've done it. What if you find me with that garbage, yet it's your problem that you've not brought that truck to take away? How shall we also penalize KCCA? Because they're in charge of it, of taking care of the cleanness of the market. So I think there is need to sensitize such that people can get to know, but I think that the punishment is a little bit big.
Okay. Mrs. Morin, your opinion on some of these penalties?
Yeah, penalties are put there. They are good. They are good for you to look at it and say, oh my God, will I afford that? What do? I rather obey, I rather ensure that I'm living in a clean environment. I rather ensure that, my market has a daycare center. Because for sure, because there is a lot of corruption, in some of our offices, government offices, you will find that somebody is saying, I'm going to construct a market, I have this space of land, which is not really equivalent to what is on the document. I'm saying, I have this, I'm going to set up. Before you know it, the market is up there and there is no daycare center, there is, you understand? Yeah. So for me, when they give you such a penalty, I feel you deserve it. You deserve it. So we just have to make sure that we're in order, for sure. For me, this one, I won't say much. This is what I want. Yeah. Yes, let us be in order so that we can be like other people who have good market.
Yeah. So just as we wind up, the Market Act, the old Act has been repealed, according to the Act at least, and any market established under the old Market Act and existing immediately before the coming into force, they're saying that it shall be deemed to be established under the current Act. So I think that clears the air of whether we are still following the old or the new. This Act, if understood and comprehended, is what all the markets are going to follow. Your final words, Madam Morin, especially to the vendors who are they're still in oblivion. They don't understand what's going on, and some of them are even worried. What would be your word to them?
Yes. To the market vendors, and to the entire country at large, let us appreciate the Market Act. It is good for us. Let us look at the good, because there might be gaps. The gaps are there, but let us appreciate what we have got today. And can we start working on that? What elements do we need to be amended in the future? Because that is what it is now. Because we're not going to say it is here, then we go back and no, it's not going to happen now. But can we start? Change is never, easy. Yeah. It is never welcome. But gradually, we shall embrace the change. Yeah. And let us support the Ministry of Local Government to ensure that the regulations are out. Because that's what we are fighting for. For us now to be able to monitor the implementation of the Act as it is for now. Because now we are talking, we are speculating, we are imagining, but let it be implemented, and then we shall be able to give the vivid view of what it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Madam Catherine, your last words especially to the regulators, to the vendors themselves?
I want to take this opportunity to thank Institute for Social Transformation because they took the step to see that this amendment, this Market Act is repealed. What I'm calling upon the local government and the people concerned, that there is need for sensitization. Let them sensitize the vendors such that they can get to know what is in the act. But we appreciate that it was amended.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sparing time, Mrs. Maureen. Thank you so much, Mrs. Nanzige Catherine. Mrs. Maureen is the Executive Director of the IST, that is Institute for Social Transformation. They are transforming lives of young women and helping them get skilled in ICT, in several other hands-on skills, to see that they are empowered. And Madame Catherine represents the market vendors. This is The Point, and we analyze economic policy. Till next time, have a good day. Bye for now.